tayo ng Math-aral. Sa Math, walang maiiwan. Math-sayang Math-aral tayo ng Math-tuto, upang ika'y umasenso. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina, 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 Math-aral na tayo.
Good day, grade 6 learners. Welcome to Project SOAR. I am Teacher LUCELLE. I will be your teacher reviewer for today. Kamusta na kayo mga bata? Nawa ay nasa maayos kayong kalagayan at ligtas sa anumang karamdaman. Natapos na natin ang mga aralin para sa third quarter. Ngayon naman ay ating sisimulang alamin ang unang aralin sa ika-4 na markahan. Handa na ba kayo mga bata? Tara, samahan ninyo ako sa pagtukla sa ating Quarter 4 Week 1 lesson. Our topic for today is about the concept of volume of solid figures. This is Mathematics 6 Quarter 4 Week 1 lesson. Let us know the objectives of this lesson. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to: number 1, determine the relationship of the volume between a rectangular prism and a pyramid, a cylinder and a cone, and a cylinder and a sphere. Number 2, derive the formula for finding the volume of prism, cylinder, pyramid, cone, and sphere. Before we proceed to our main lesson, let us check your understanding by having a quick review of your previous lesson. Handa na ba ang inyong mga papel at ballpen mga bata? Very good. Let us have this direction. Match the formula of the plane figures in column B with the name of the plane figures in column A. Choose the letter of your answer. I will give you 10 seconds to do this. Are you ready, children? Start. Time is up. Now, let us check your answers. Be sure to practice honesty at all times. Ready? Number 1, letter E. Number 2, letter A. Number 3, letter B. Number 4, letter D. And number 5, letter C. Great job! You get a very good score in our review. Congratulations! Let's understand the concept of volume. What is volume? Volume refers to the amount of space occupied by a solid figure. Look at these examples of solid figures. Do you know each one? What solid figure is this? Very good. This is a cylinder. What about the next one? You are correct. This is a rectangular prism. How about the third one? Nice! This is a cube. Let us know the fourth one. Correct! This is a sphere. How about the next one? Yes, it is a cone. And the last one? Exactly! This is a square pyramid. Magaling! Alam na ninyo ang mga solid figures na ating pag-aaralan. How do we express the measure of volume? That's right! volume is measured in cubic units, which means it is the number of cubes of a given size that are necessary to fill the solid figures completely. So, the volume of a unit cube whose length, width, and height are 1 unit each is 1 cubic unit. Look at the rectangular prism below. It is made up of small cubes or so-called unit cubes. Each of these cubes occupies a space of 1 cubic centimeter. The space taken up by this rectangular prism is 8 pieces of 1 centimeter cubes. Therefore, the volume of this rectangular prism is 8 cubic centimeters. Now, let us observe how to find the volume of prism. The volume of the prism is found by multiplying the measures of the length, the width, and the height. So we arrive at the formula, which is volume of a prism equals length times width times height. In our previous lesson, if we multiply the length times width, it represents the area. So we can also say that volume can be solved if we multiply the area of the base times height. So as you see in our example, multiplying the length, which is 4 units, the width, which is 2 units, and the height, which is also 2 units, it gives us the result, which is 16 cubic units. Let us do this example. Handa na ba ang inyong papel at ballpen, mga bata? Kung ganon, halina at sabayan niyo ako sa pag-solve ng problem na ito. Find the volume of a rectangular prism whose length is 9 meters, its width is 7 meters, and height is 3 meters. Using the formula in finding the volume of a prism, volume equals length times width times height, we substitute the formula with the given dimensions. So, volume equals 9 meters times 7 meters times 3 meters. Unahin nating kunin ang product ng length and width. So, 9 meters times 7 meters is equal to 63 square meters. Then, multiply the height, which is 3 meters. So, we derive at the answer, which is 189 cubic meters. Therefore, the volume of this rectangular prism is 189 cubic meters. What is the relationship between the volume of a prism and a pyramid? Ano nga ba ang kaugnayan ng dalawang solid figures na ito? To fully understand the relationship of rectangular prism and a pyramid, let us have the following illustrations. This is a rectangular prism. As you can see, its bottom part is a rectangular shape, and all other surfaces are rectangles too. On the right side, we have a rectangular pyramid. Why is it called a rectangular pyramid? Correct! It is because it has a rectangular shaped base, and the rest of its surfaces are all triangles. These two solid figures have 3 dimensions. These are the length, the width, and the height. Let us have the dimensions of the rectangular prism. The length is 8 centimeters, the width is 4 centimeters, and the height is 6 centimeters. Now let us put the same measure with the rectangular pyramid. The length is 8 centimeters, the width is 4 centimeters, and a prism using the derived formula. Volume is equal to length times width times height. Substitute the formula with the given dimension. Volume is equal to 8 centimeters times 4 centimeters times 6 centimeters. Let us get the product of the length and width. 8 centimeters times 4 centimeters is equal to 32 square centimeters. Then multiply the height, which is 6 centimeters. So, the volume of the prism is equal to 192 cubic centimeters. Let us also have the volume of a pyramid. Let us have the formula, which is volume equals 1/3 times length times width times height. Or volume is equal to the area of the base times height divided by 3. Substitute the formula. Volume is equal to area of the base, which is 32, times 6, which is the height, over 3. Multiplying the two, we arrive at 192 centimeters over 3. Then, after dividing, finally, we get 64 cubic centimeters. Now, if we're going to take a look, 64 is 1/3 of the volume of the prism. Now, let us have this example. What is the volume of a pyramid with a rectangular base measuring 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters and its height is 12 centimeters? Let us have the formula, which is volume is equal to 1/3 times length times width times height. Or volume is equal to area of the base times height divided by 3. Let us substitute the formula by the given dimensions. 4 centimeters times 2 centimeters times 12 centimeters over 3. I-multiply muna natin ang 4 centimeters at 2 centimeters. So, ang result ay 8 square centimeters. Then, i-multiply natin dito ang height, which is 12 centimeters. The answer is 96 cubic centimeters over 3. I-divide na natin ngayon ang 96 cubic centimeters ng 3. So, the result is 32 cubic centimeters. Therefore, the volume of the pyramid is 32 cubic centimeters. Ngayon, alamin naman natin kung paano makukuha ang volume of cylinder. The volume of a cylinder is found by multiplying the area of the base and the height. Since the base of a cylinder is a circle, the formula of the area of the base is pi r squared. Therefore, the formula of the volume of a cylinder is volume equals pi r squared times height. Let us have this example. Calculate the volume of a cylindrical tank if the height is 5 feet and radius is 3 feet. Use 3 14/100 for the value of pi. Let us use this formula of volume of cylinder. Volume is equal to pi r squared times height. Let us substitute the formula with the given dimensions. Volume is equal to 3 14/100 times 3 feet squared times 5 feet. Now, let us get the product of the radius. So, 3 times 3 equals 9 feet squared. Let us have the next step. 3 14/100 times 9 feet squared times 5 feet. Then, next step is that we are going to multiply 3 14/100 times 9 feet squared. So, we have 28 and 26 hundredths times 5 feet. And then, we arrive at the answer, which is 141 and 3/10 cubic feet. Therefore, the volume of a cylindrical tank is 141 and 3/10 cubic feet. What is the relationship between the volume of a cylinder and a cone? Look at the cylinder and a cone. The cylinder and a cone has the same radius and height. If we fill the cone with a liquid and pour it into the cylinder, it will appear like this. A cone filled with liquid will only cover 1/3 of the cylinder. To make the cylinder full a liquid, it needs 3 cones of the same radius and height. Therefore, the formula of the volume of a cone is volume equals 1/3 times pi r squared times height, where pi is equal to 3 and 14 hundredths, r is the radius, and h is the height. So what is the relationship between the volume of a cylinder and a cone? The volume of a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder with the same radius and height as the cone. How do we find the volume of cone? The volume of cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder with the same radius and height as the cone. Therefore, the formula of the volume of a cone is volume equals 1/3 times pi r squared times height, where pi is equal to 3 and 14 hundredths, r is the radius, and h is the height. Let us do this example of finding the volume of a cone. Find the volume of the cone below with 4 meters radius and 12 meters height. Recall the formula in finding the volume of cone, which is volume equals 1/3 times pi times radius squared times height. Substitute the formula with the given dimensions. Volume equals 1/3 times 3 and 14 hundredths times 4 square meters times 12 meters. Next is volume equals 1/3 times 3 and 14 hundredths times the product of 4 meters square, which is 16 square meters times 12 meters. Next step is get the product of 3 and 14 hundredths times 16 square meters. The result is 50 and 24 square meters. Then multiply the height, which is 12 meters. Then put the denominator 3. So, we get the product of 602 and 88 cubic meters over 3. Getting the quotient of 602 and 88 cubic meters, we arrive to the answer, which is volume equals 296 cubic meters. Therefore, the volume of the cone is 296 cubic meters. Let us note the relationship between volume of a cylinder and sphere. Look at the sphere and the cylinder. The radius of the sphere is equal to the radius of a cylinder. This is the height of a cylinder. If I am going to fill the sphere with water and pour it into the cylinder, it will look like this. The volume of the sphere is only 2/3 of the volume of a cylinder. To find the volume of a cylinder, we will use this formula. Volume is equal to pi r squared times height. The volume of the cylinder is area of the base times its height, which is pi r squared times 2r, or 2 pi r cubed, wherein the height is 2 radii. Therefore, the volume of the sphere is 2/3 of 2 pi r cubed, which is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. Let us do this example. What is the volume of a sphere with a radius of 6 inches? Let us have the formula of finding the volume of sphere, which is volume equals 4/3 times pi times radius cubed. Now, let us substitute the formula with the given dimensions. Volume is equal to 4/3 times 3 14/100 times 6 inches cubed. Let us get the product of 6 inches cubed. So, volume is equal to 3 14/100 times 216 cubic inches over 3. Next is, we are going to multiply 3 14/100. So, we will get 12 56/100 times 216 cubic inches over 3. Multiply 12 56/100 times 216 cubic inches. So the product is 2,712 and 96/100 over 3. Finally, after dividing 2,712 and 96/100, we will arrive at 904 and 32/100 cubic inches. Therefore, the volume of a sphere is 904 and 32 cubic inches. Now, let us wrap up the lesson that we have discussed. Let us remember the relationship of the volume of solid figures. First, the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 the volume of a prism with the same base and height as the pyramid. Second, the volume of a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder with the same radius and height as the cone. And lastly, the volume of a sphere is 2/3 of the volume of the cylinder. Let us know and remember the formula in finding the volume of solid figures. Volume of prism is equal to length times width times height. Volume of pyramid is equal to base times height divided by 3. The volume of cylinder is equal to pi r squared times height. What about the volume of cone? Volume of cone is 1/3 times pi r squared times height. And lastly, we have the volume of sphere, which is volume of sphere equals 4/3 times pi r cubed. Let us answer some exercises. Tingnan nga natin kung may naintindihan kayo sa ating lesson, mga bata. Ihanda na ulit ang inyong mga papel at ballpen. Let us have these directions. Write true if the statement is correct, and if false, change the underlined word or words to make the statement true. Ready? Number 1. The formula of the volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi r cubed. Number 2. The volume of a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder. Number 3. If the length, width, and height of a prism is 10 centimeters, 8 centimeters, and 5 centimeters respectively, its volume is 400 cubic centimeters. Number 4. The volume is the number of squares that occupies the solid figure. And number 5. The volume of a pyramid is 2/3 the volume of prism. Tapos na ba kayo, mga bata? Magaling! Now, let us check your answers. Are you ready, children? Number 1, that is true. Number 2, it is also true. Number 3, correct, it is also true. Number 4, false, square should be cube. Number 5, false because 2/3 should be replaced with 1/3. How many of you get 4 and 5? Great job! It means that you have understood our lesson. Let's try some more. Complete the table below by filling in with the missing drawing or illustration, name of the solid figures, and the formula of its volume. Handa na ba kayo mga bata? Halina at sagutan na natin. Let's begin. What is the name of the solid figure at the left? Correct! It is a rectangular prism. What about its formula? Magaling! Volume is equal to length times width times height. Let us have number 3. How will you show the illustration or drawing of a pyramid? Very good! What about the formula of its volume? That's right! Volume is equal to 1/3 times length times width times height, or volume is equal to area of the base times height divided by 3. Let us have number 5. Amazing! You are correct. What is the name of the solid figure with the given volume formula? Yes, it is a cylinder. Let us have number 7. How will you illustrate the cone? That's right. How about the formula of a cone? Magaling! Let us have number 9. What is the name of the given solid figure? Very good. It is a sphere. What is the formula of its volume? Tama. Volume is equal to 4/3 times pi r cubed. Great work, children. Let us now finally check your understanding about the lesson. Are you ready, children? So let us answer this evaluation. Direction. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answer in your paper. Let's begin. Number 1. The formula of the volume of a pyramid is blank. Letter A. Volume is equal to 1/3 times length times width times height. Letter B. Volume is equal to 1/3 times length times width. Letter C. Volume is equal to length times width times height. And letter D. Volume is equal to length times width. Let's have number 2. What is the volume of a sphere whose radius is 6 centimeters? Letter A. 904 and 3200 cubic centimeters. Letter B. 914 and 3200 cubic centimeters. Letter C. 924 and 32 cubic centimeters. Letter D. 934 and 3200 cubic centimeters. Number 3. Which of the following is the formula for the volume of a cone? Letter A. 4/3 pi r cubed. Letter B. 1/3 times length times width times height. Letter C. 1/2 pi r squared times height. Letter D. 1/3 pi r squared times height. Number 4. What is the volume of the rectangular prism at the right? Letter A. 114 cubic inches. Letter B. 112 cubic inches. Letter C. 110 cubic inches. And letter D. 98 cubic inches. Number 5. The volume of the pyramid is 1/3 the volume of lamp. Letter A, cone. Letter B, cylinder. Letter C, prism. Letter D, sphere. Are you done, children? Let us check your answers. Ready? Number 1, letter A. Number 2, letter A. Number 3, letter D. Number 4, letter B. And number 5, letter C. Nakuha ba ninyo ang lahat ng tamang sagot, mga bata? Well done! Natapos na natin ang ating aralin para sa Quarter 4, Week 1. This ends our video lesson for today. Thank you for watching. Keep safe and healthy, everyone. Once again, this is Teacher Lucelle from 9 de Febrero Elementary School. Bye!